Hello, hello, hello. Let me know if y'all can hear me. It's been a while. I almost forgot how to go live. It's been so long. Let's see who's in here. Hello. I am not trying to pronounce this. 2K. Listen, we just call you 2, okay? Hello, 2. Hello, average American girl, Brenda Bell, Caramel. What's up with y'all in these foreign languages? Je ne sais quoi, whatever that is. Hello. Hey, AJ. Uh, hey, Dylan. Yep, it's been a while. It's been a while. Y'all know something huge has to happen for me to crawl out the bushes, right? Well, something huge is happening. I am not going to go through it's a lot. I'm not going to go through all of it because if you saw the title and you came in here, you should already know what this is about. What's been going on for the past 3 days or so. We're just here to discuss it. I'm not going through all the tweets, all the back and forths. I don't have the mental capacity after an 8-hour workday to do that, okay? I cannot. L'Oreal says, I knew you were coming at some point to drag your peoples. I'm not dragging anybody. I'm just discussing what is going on. It's like the internet is ablaze right now. So that's what everybody's talking about. The drama, the drama. Are we the drama? Oh my Lord. Yep, it has been a minute. You know, I was like, should I be messy? Should I do a edited video? At some point, I was going to just like pull all the tweets and all the like the shade and the comments and from everybody who's involved. JT, Ice Spice, the manager, the whole recording that was dropped with Cardi B, like shading, Lato, all of that. I was just gonna put everything together in an edited video, and then I was like, this is going to take way too much time. So, you know what? Let me just go live. Dylan says, the girls are fighting. Hey, Amari. Yep, of course I saw. Who hasn't? Who hasn't? This thing is like, y'all, let me tell you. So I think it was Sunday night. Was it Sunday when the first week figures for Cardi B's album came out? First of all, I really enjoyed the album, y'all. Y'all see on my back, that's my jam. That is my jam. Although today I found out that the lyrics, it was the part where she says, come on and night and day. I thought she was saying come on it. And when I looked at the lyric video, it's actually come on in. So I've been singing, can't wait to sit on your face and come on it night and day this entire time. And only today I realized it was come on in. But I don't care, I'm still going to sing my version, okay? But anyway, so I really enjoyed the album. I feel like it has one skip for me. I do not like that Bodega Baddie song at all. When it comes on, I just skip it. Other than that, I can listen to the entire album, even the old songs at the end, WAP and Up. I play the full album and even listen to those. It just flows. But that Bodega Baddie song is just like, it's a no for me, okay? That's my one skip on the album. But I really, really love On My Back. I love the song with Lizzo. It's What's Going On is the title, I think. And well, of course, Pretty and Petty. And then Magnet. I think Magnet is what like has everybody up in arms right now. Like a few people were hitting that song, and it's just like all hell broke loose. But I really like that one. I like Salute. And what else do I really Airtime. I like that one too. I really honestly enjoyed the whole album, and it's like after like a 7-year wait, I think I was a little scared too because I was like, the success of Invasion of Privacy is kind of hard to follow up, and after waiting so long, it sort of felt like, her, like, she sort of started to fall off a little bit. People got tired of waiting. Even some of her fans got a little fed up, like, girl, where's the album? So it started to feel like, her, like, she was at a certain level in 2018, and then she started to, like, calm down a bit. You see all these other girls in the spotlight, and you start thinking, okay, well, all these other new girls are coming up and they're taking some of her shine. So I was really kind of like worried about how this album would sound. I think I was like a little worried maybe it would sound dated too, because she's been working on this for years. So I was a little worried, but I was not disappointed. As, like, apart from the Bodega Body song, everything I liked. Yeah. So that's my review on the album. Let me go through some comments. And since that album dropped, y'all, I've been playing it in the car. I've been playing it in the house. My neighbors are sick of me. I have been playing it at work, and I have a coworker. Mind you, I sit next to her every day. Never knew she was this huge Cardi B fan, because, like, y'all, come on, we're in our 30s, right? So it's kind of like, it's a little childish to be into, this online beef and this stan stuff. So you kind of like keep it to yourself. I don't think anybody, like, at my workplace knew that I was this huge Cardi B fan until all this bacchanal broke out with Nicki Minaj, and everybody started talking about it and discussing it. And then I realized, oh, wait, no, everybody inside of here is a Cardi B fan because nobody was on Nicki's side. So then it's like, you know what? I am comfortable speaking about my body gang status with my coworkers now. And there's this one coworker of mine, she sits right next to me, and she's a die-hard Cardi B fan. And it's so nice to have, like, in the middle of your workday, you're stressed, you're doing a lot of stuff, and it's just nice to have somebody to talk to at work about this stuff, because she's just as into it as I am. So yeah. It's been crazy. Let me read some comments. Hey, Stacy. Yep, the album was good. I really enjoyed it. And, I see people trying to clown her that it sold 200K first week. And it's like, who else is doing that? Who else is doing that? Nicki has been around for like 20 years. And she has the advantage of having been around longer, having built a fan base for a much longer time than Cardi B has been around. And just the fact that the margin is so small between the two of them, that's a win for Cardi B. The only person outdoing Cardi B's numbers is Nicki. So I don't even know how, like, JT, Ice Spice, all these other, up-and-comers even think they have a place in this conversation. This is like, who are you? Imagine, I'm seeing JT online and she's clowning Cardi B's numbers. And I'm like, but you can't even touch that. You have never touched that. So you're clowning her using Nicki's numbers. And that is sad, because it's like, you can't even clown her using your own numbers. So y'all, it's just the audacity of these people for me. Don't even get me started on this ABCDEFG thing. ABCDEFG, these bitches can't fuck with me. Listen. I can't. I just think people are like, they're breaking down this lyric like, oh, Cardi B's bars are weak, and it's like a very childish line. I think it was just something fun. Like, don't read too much into it. This wasn't meant to be some metaphor. It wasn't meant to be some double entendre. It's not meant to be a deep line. It's just a fun line. And in the majority of Cardi B's songs, she has a fun, simple line that is just like, it's just for fun. So I even think in I can't remember which song, but in one of the songs on the album, she has a line that goes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm the baddest bitch alive, or something like that. And it's just a fun line. But they nitpick these things to pull it out of all her lyrics. Like, she has songs that's She's rapping about, her relationship with Offset and, just being vulnerable and stuff like that. And the lyrics are very deep. But they choose this one ABCDEFG line to harp on. So it's just like, I can't. She in all her music, I think you could pinpoint at least one line where it's just for shits and giggles. And like, what song was this? I think it was the one, Wild Side, where she said something like, I could probably suck a watermelon through a straw. It's just for shits and giggles. It's just for fun. This is not meant to be some sort of deep hitting bar. But they're using this to say, oh, she can't write and blah blah blah. So some people just suck the joy out of everything. Ooh, Check Please was a good one too. Ain't no other bitch up here, nigga. Let's go, let's go. I need more money than problems this year. I remember when she dropped this snippet. I remember a lot of these songs from when she dropped these snippets, and I've been waiting for these songs. Listen, listen. I don't think anybody's a bigger Cardi B fan than me in Trinidad, honestly. Okay, so let's get into the meat of the thing, right? So this is a good place to start. Mr. Ashley Alexander says both Nicki and Cardi B both went way too far talking about each other's children. This is going to end like Lil Kim and Foxy with actual shots being fired. I agree with the last part about like this beef has been going on for almost a decade at this point, and there seems to be no end in sight. So I think that there's not going to be an end until somebody gets hurt, because they both claim to be affiliated with gangs and they have shooters and this kind of stuff. So it's like, this is going to escalate until somebody gets hurt. Clearly. I think one of the last tweets I saw from Cardi B, she was saying basically, this has gone beyond Twitter and the internet, and she's waiting to see Nicki in person now. So it's like, we are going to get shoe throwing part 2, and this time the shoe will probably connect. This time, actually, it might not even be a shoe this time, but clearly these two women will never make up. This is never going to be a situation where we see like, somebody mediates and they come together and they squash the beef. This is not going to be a Lato and Ice Spice situation. These women hate each other. Hate. The first part of it, let me see. I think children are generally off limits, but I have to say, if you talk about my child, you went low, I'm going to take it to hell. Seriously. That's how I would respond, because it's like, I think it's like, it takes a level of maturity for, to hear somebody talking about your child, disrespecting your child, a child who has nothing to do with any of this. Talking about your pregnancy, because Nicki started that first. The first tweet I saw was her talking about Cardi B being pregnant and something about HPV or something like that. I'm like, why are you even mentioning this woman's pregnancy? So it's like, you start, I'm going to finish it. So I understand, I think I understand Cardi B responding from an emotional place. I'm not saying she's right, and I feel like the people around her should rein her in a little bit. But I understand, like, as a mother myself, you come for my children, all bets are off. Every time I come on here, somebody asks this. Oh, it's Mikey. Actually, I only came live now because you asked if I was going live on Instagram, and I was just like, you know what, let me go live. So it's your fault I'm on here right now, and no, I'm not coming back full time. I mean, I would like to. It's fun. It was fun, but I have a full-time job and I have children preparing for exams, and I just don't have the time. But yeah, I got time today. Ashley says Cardi B album numbers are all over the place. I've heard 4 different numbers in the last few days. I think, like, it didn't matter what her album sold. She was going to get dragged regardless. If she had outsold Nicki, it would have been payola. It would have been, the the corporate giants and machines pushing her and buying streams and bots and all these other things, it would have been, she would still be getting dragged. It would have just been a different conversation. And actually, it's like, I think it's better that she didn't outsell Nicki, because I think it showed Nicki's true colors. It's like she was waiting. Remember, Nicki went on a so-called hiatus. She was silent on social media for weeks, not a word. Cardi B's entire rollout, Nicki was MIA. But as soon as those first week numbers came out, Nicki suddenly showed up. So it says to me, it's like she was just waiting. She had some sort of fear that Cardi B would have outsold her. And then when she realized Cardi B didn't, it's like, I don't know. It's like she was exhilarated. She just reappeared on social media celebrating. It's like this woman was just waiting and watching. And then, reading her unhinged tweets over the past few days, she listened to that album more than me. She probably heard it before I did. Because when it came out on Thursday night, I was fast asleep. I have a full-time job. I'm not staying up after midnight to listen to an album. I'm sorry. And then on Friday, I was at work and just scrolling social media, and I'm seeing people sharing like clips and stuff. So I'm hearing the album in pieces. But it wasn't until I got home on Friday evening is when I got the time to actually sit down and listen to it. So I'm pretty sure Nicki listened to that full album before me, and I'm a fan. That's crazy. But yeah, I feel like it didn't matter what the numbers were. Cardi B was going to get dragged regardless. But I mean, it achieved what it set out to do. Everybody's talking about it. Whether it was good or bad, whether you enjoyed it or not, it is the talk of the town. I have never seen somebody drop an album and cause this kind of commotion. Doja Cat just dropped an album. I'm not seeing anything about it. So it's like, she is the drama. I have never seen a more aptly titled album in my life. This thing has caused so much drama. And I feel part of it is also because people thought she was over. It's been 7 years since she dropped an album. And there's been this narrative that, she's afraid to drop because she's shelved or she has no budget. And, she's afraid that it's going to perform badly. So for 7 years, people have been saying this. So it's just like, to see it drop finally and cause all this ruckus, you have to admit, Cardi B is female rap right now. Female rap revolves around Cardi B right now. Whether you like her music, whether you think she's talented, I don't think she's the best rapper ever. I enjoy her music. Her music is fun. I don't think she's like, I think she's grown a lot more from when she started, because at first she was more into like, how do I say this in a respectful manner? It was more like, yeah, she has like some lyrical songs, but she was more into like fuck music. That's how I saw it. Music to shake your ass, club music. Now it's like you're hearing more vulnerability. You're hearing, she's using her own life experiences in her music, so it's a deeper side of her. And I don't know, it's just, I've seen a lot of growth. Casey Ray said, I know what you mean, I keep it to myself too. Yeah. I mean, I can't go around like just waving my body gang card. I can't. I just keep it to myself. But then it's always nice to discover somebody who is just as into this shit as you. And this girl has been sitting next to me for a couple of years, and I never knew she was a body gang member. Yo, it's crazy. AJ says they both have huge fan bases. They do, but Nicki's is a little bigger. And I think that they have more buying power because they're just deranged like that. And y'all, from reading like the discourse from Bobs throughout this whole thing, race has a lot to do with it. Race and skin color. I don't think they a lot of them don't genuinely like Nicki. They don't necessarily like her music. They see this as a black woman versus a light-skinned woman. So it's like a, you know, they rally behind Nicki probably because of their own insecurities, and they just want to see the black person win. And I think like I have a little bit of that in me too. I root for everybody black. I root in anything. If I'm watching a game show, if I'm watching a reality show, whatever, I don't care what it is. I'm rooting for the black person. If I'm watching a beauty pageant, whatever it is, I am rooting for the black person. So I understand that. But then there comes a point where the black person is just wrong. You can't root for the black person all the time. Yes, you want to see your people win, but you also have to hold them accountable. And there are times when the black person is just dead ass wrong. And this is one of those times. So that's what I don't understand with her fans. It's like, y'all can't see past this race issue. You'll just see like, okay, this, because they call her Mexican, this so-called Mexican, this light-skinned woman who they don't consider black, coming into the rap game and basically taking a lot of shine from the black woman. It's about race for a lot of them. Shelby says that is a good number for a sophomore album. That is a good number for any album because there are a lot of people not reaching that. I just saw Doja Cat's album is predicted to do like 59K, and it's a pop album. I have not listened to all of it. I really couldn't get through it. It's not my style of music. But to me, like pop normally does better than rap. So I expected her to do big numbers. And even by her standards, she's flopping. So it's like, how can you call Cardi B a flop with 200K? And there are people who are like, you know, like at that level of stardom, and they can't even make those numbers. They can't even make close to those numbers. You know what I did see too was there was a particular tweet that Nicki made where she said something about boycotting all the companies that continue to work with Cardi B. And it's like it clicked in my head. This is what it's about. It's like, and I think I said this before. So before Cardi B came out, there were very few female rappers. Nicki dominated alone for a very long time. So all the deals were going to her, all the endorsement deals, all the movie roles, anything they wanted a female rapper for, Nicki was the person to go to. And then Cardi B came along. So that all Nicki's opportunities cut in half. Because now there's this new, younger, more fun person in the industry. So she's now getting the brand deals. She's getting the endorsement deals. And a lot of things that naturally would have gone to Nicki before started going to Cardi B. So Nicki's income reduced just from Cardi B coming on the scene. And then Cardi B came on the scene. It opened a wave. I don't care what anybody says. This new wave of female rappers happened because of Cardi B's success. If it was because of Nicki, it would have happened in the 10 years Nicki dominated by herself. This happened after Cardi B came in and Cardi B became successful and record labels started believing in signing women rappers again. So now Nicki's like her opportunities not only cut in half because Cardi B came along, now it's divided even further because you have all these new girls. They're younger, they're prettier, they may not be as talented, but they're what the younger people are going for right now. There are people who are like more in tune with, you know, the Ice Spice and like Megan. These are younger women that they could identify with over 40-something-year-old Nicki Minaj. This is a new generation of people. So it's like a lot of companies want to be represented by these new girls. So she already had to share her pie with Cardi B, and now she has to share it with a whole bunch of people who came in after Cardi B. I would hate Cardi B too if I were her, because it's like, because of you, my income is not the same. And when she talked about boycotting all these companies still doing business with Cardi B, it clicked to me that this is what this is all about. She's just angry that all these opportunities that Cardi B is getting would have gone to her before. But it's like, even another coworker of mine, we were talking today, and she said something like, This happens in every genre. Nobody's hot forever. Nobody remains on top forever. And it's like Nicki didn't count on that. She was on top for so long that she felt, she owned the industry, that female rap belonged to her. So she didn't need to diversify. She didn't feel like she had to do anything else. You have people like Rihanna. Rihanna, like, she was very, very successful at the music. Very. Rihanna could have lived comfortably off music for the rest of her life. But she recognized this is not something that is going to last forever. Somebody new would come out eventually, somebody hot would come out, and as people get older, the younger people are into different things. You're not going to appeal to people forever. So Rihanna started early to diversify and look at where she is now. And I feel like that is the mistake Nicki made. Nicki could have done that. At one point, she had that level of stardom where she could have built an empire and she could have become billionaire status a long time ago. But she put all her eggs in the music basket because she was the only one for so long. That's how I feel. And now that there's this whole new wave of girls and she has to share the pie with everybody else, what do you do? Y'all, I'm rambling. Anyway, let me read some comments. Pluto says, did you get to see Santana on Spaces verbally mollywhopping JT earlier today? Listen to me. I didn't listen to the whole thing. I saw some clips, but it's like JT. First to begin with, let's start with JT and Hennessy going back and forth because some tea was spilled there too. I never knew that JT was supposed to be on WAP. Apparently, JT, from what I gather, I could be wrong, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I gather, JT was the feature on WAP before Megan. And whatever business decision was made, they took JT off the song and put Megan instead. And that was a good decision because Megan was the bigger star. And then there was this whole discourse, that Megan worked with Nicki, so people thought she was beefing with Cardi B. So here was an opportunity for them to work together and show that it's no beef. So I feel like Megan was the better choice for the song. And the song would not have done the numbers it did. It would not have gotten the accolades it did if it was JT. And we're just being real here. Like, I don't see WAP being the cultural phenomenon it was if it was JT on that song. But I feel like the song blowing up and doing so well hurt JT because she thought those accolades should have been hers. She probably felt like, okay, you took me off the song. I could have had a number one song to my name. I could have had, all these numbers under my belt. She probably felt like she was robbed of that opportunity. But the song would not have been as big with her on it. It just would not. So it was a wise business decision, in my view, to put Megan on it. And it was just a business decision. It wasn't anything personal. So for JT to take it personally, I feel that's really immature. And she's not the first person that would have happened to. You've heard about that happening. I think Glorilla had a song. I think that was the FNF remix that Saweetie was supposed to be on. I can't remember. It was something like that. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. But it's like these decisions get made in the music industry all the time. It's nothing personal. And I truly believe if JT had not reacted the way she did, Cardi B would have worked with her on something else. But she let that, affect her. She took it personally, and here we are today. And now neither Cardi B or Nicki Minaj fucks with her because I saw Nicki, somebody told Nicki in her comments to post JT to show, just to show support in her beef with Santana and stuff, and Nicki replied, I ain't posting shit. So right now Nicki doesn't fuck with her and Cardi B doesn't fuck with her. So you try to play both sides. You betrayed the one person who stood up for you because Cardi B used to be riding for JT when JT was in prison. She used to be tweeting free JT. She hopped on a song with Carisha. And Cardi B kept the City Girls relevant in a way when JT was in prison. And then JT came out and then stabbed her in the back. So it's like, these hoes ain't loyal. But anyway, so back to the Santana stuff. So there was a part where Santana said, and this again shows y'all how it just shows you how calculated Nicki is. He said, y'all remember when Cardi B and JT was going back and forth some months ago, and Cardi B called JT a lapdog, and can't remember how that beef went, but I just remember the word lapdog. Oh, and prison pants. That's what I remember from that beef. And that whole back and forth was going on. And Nicki changed her profile picture to JT and all of that. That whole beef I'm talking about. So Santana revealed today that while that was going on, Nicki actually texted Carisha to ask her why she and Santana not, jumping in to back up JT. And it's like, the hell? So when it's like when you call these people lapdogs, they get so offended. But they're doing these things because Nicki's pulling their strings behind the scenes. So kudos to Santana and Carisha for not jumping in on Nicki's say so, because that's crazy. But if she could do it with them, y'all don't think she did it with Bia. Y'all don't think she did it with Akbar V, and you remember there was a time after they did the Super Freaky Girl remix, all these girls were coming after Cardi B one by one. Y'all don't think it was Nicki pulling their strings behind the scenes? Come on. All of this that's been going on over the past few days kind of proves that to me. And the sad part is that JT and Carisha were friends. Y'all came up together, y'all were in a group together, and y'all let this woman come between you and break up your friendship, because that is what it seems like. Santana also said part of the breakdown in the relationship between JT and Carisha is that JT did the Super Freaky Girl remix without even telling Carisha. Y'all are in a group together and you get offered an opportunity to get on a song with Nicki Minaj, and you don't even tell your group mates. Y'all, if that was me and I got offered that opportunity and I'm in a group, I'm rallying for my group mates. I'm trying to pull her in on it too. I'm gonna be like, okay, so why can't we both do it? I'm gonna try to advocate for her. JT took the opportunity without even telling Carisha. That's like some low down snake behavior. And then Santana said that they found out about it on the internet with everybody else. They didn't even know JT was going to be on the song. She's an opportunist. And it's fine in a way, because it's like loyalty to your friend ain't paying your bills, okay? So she got an opportunity with Nicki Minaj. Somebody as big, that's a big opportunity for JT. So I understand her taking it. But it's like, she could have gone about that a different way. At least inform your friend, your group mate, hey, I got this opportunity. I'm repping. Even if you can't be on the song, I'm repping us. This is an opportunity for city girls. But JT sort of used it as an opportunity to promote herself apart from Carisha. That's why Cardi B has this line in the song, Magnet, that says your loyalty depends on who you're around. Because it's like, that's what you do. Everybody you get an opportunity with, that's who you show loyalty to. That's a kind of friend like I don't want around me. You troll said, did you read my comment last night? I don't know what you're talking about. What comment? Casey says, I've been searching for you on Twitter since this beef started. I'm not really on Twitter, to be quite honest. I have a profile, but it's dead. It's dry. I don't really use it. I use Twitter to scroll and to peek from the bushes, but I don't really, comment anything. Dee says these two Trini queens need to relax. I think like it's past that at this point. There's no going back. When you start calling people's kids names, Cardi B's, Nicki saying culture is ugly, she's gonna kick her what it was, she's gonna kick her teeth back into formation or some shit like that. And then on the other hand, you have Cardi B calling Nicki Minaj's kids slow, and his favorite color is the number five. I can't. It's gone past reconciliation at this point. It's this is never going to happen. Okay. AJ says we got confirmation that Ra Ali gave Cardi B those nuts at the Met Gala as well. Yeah, I saw that some weeks ago where she confronted Ra at an airport or something like that. And then she came online and she was like, that's payback for what happened um at the event. And I'm like, you kind of told on yourself there that maybe the story that Ra Ali has been telling all these years is actually true. So we don't know. Oh, hey, Kobe. Utroll says, I've seen a lot of videos of people breaking this beef down, and somewhat everyone kind of agrees Nicki came for Cardi, everyone except Impressive. Well, I mean, what else do you expect from Impressive? It's like people have Impressive is a Bob, and like most Bobs, they have gone too far doing things and saying things in Nicki's name. Now that it's coming out that she's a little deranged, she's not normal. I don't care what anybody say. I don't know if it's drugs. I don't know if it is mental illness, but something is not right with her. And now her fans are clearly seeing it and they're too embarrassed to admit it. I think Impressive is one of those people. So she's always going to find ways to excuse things, to justify things, and just like she's always going to be on Nicki's side. And that is unreasonable because even as a Cardi B fan, I'm not always on her side. It's okay to be a fan of somebody and be like, okay, that was fucked up. Impressive is incapable of that. But yeah, I've seen like the commentary from everybody. The majority of people are like, Nicki's off a rocker. Nicki has lost her cotton picking mind. That's what I'm seeing. Yeah, everything is a setup from Rock Nation. Rock Nation, you will crumble. It's crazy. That reminds me actually, I saw Tasha K as well. She's jumped in. Y'all know she can't resist anything with Cardi B's name tied to it. And she's claiming that Cardi B went to the Dominican Republic and she did like witchcraft on Nicki. And that's why Nicki's life has been falling apart. Her husband is in legal trouble. Her brother stuff happened too. Um, and Tasha K is claiming it's because Cardi B did voodoo. So it's like, and Nicki believes these things. Nicki is paranoid. So you have Tasha K in her ear telling her Cardi B is doing voodoo and witchcraft on her. And Nicki truly believes this. And there's this line in a song, can't remember what song it was, where Cardi B says, her life's so trash, she thinks I put a hex on her. And it's so true. Her life is falling apart because of her own deeds and her own evil spirit. And she wants somebody to blame. And here you have Tasha K feeding this woman, Cardi B's doing witchcraft on you. And she's running with it. It's ridiculous. The Tadavia says Cardi is gonna be a target no matter what. She's on a huge media blitz right now. She's even got recorded ads for MTA that play on the platforms. Yeah, like I said earlier, a lot of opportunities, a lot of deals and stuff that would have usually gone to Nicki is now going to Cardi B. So Nicki's income has dwindled. She's still very rich, very successful, but just the fact of seeing another girl come in and getting the things you used to get is driving her crazy. It's driving her crazy. And you know, it's like growing up watching Nicki Minaj, her career. And now it's like, who would have thought this would have been the Nicki Minaj now? If y'all told me when I was like in high school, a teenager, that this is what Nicki Minaj would have turned out to be, I would have said, you damn lie. I never would have believed that this would have been Nicki Minaj today. Um, Ashley says Cardi B should have had this beef last week. I think she may have done 300K. Billboard keeps dropping her numbers. I don't know. It doesn't, to me, the numbers don't matter. What matters to me is, was it a good album? Was it a solid body of work? And it absolutely was. So it's like, I think like people have stopped truly enjoying music because they focus so much on the numbers now. Hey, K Mac. I totally agree with this. Cardi is just more likable. She is. She has, even from her Instagram days, from her love and hip hop days, she has this quirky, like vibrant, bubbly personality that people are drawn to. She seems more down to earth. She seems like one of us, like a regular person. And then her story of how she came up is more relatable too, because it's like, okay, she came from basically nothing. This woman used to be a stripper, and you look down on people like her working, in that field. You look down on her. So it's like, if somebody could come from that to this, to what she is now, it's like, it's inspirational. It's like, okay, well, if she could do that, what am I complaining about? Why can't I get up off my ass and do something? So to me, her story is just inspirational. Nicki's story is just like, it's a rags to riches story, but it's just not as relatable as Cardi B, because Cardi B came from absolutely nothing. Nicki still had the opportunities to go to, like, what is it she went to? LaGuardia. It's like this like school for people wanting to get into like performing arts and stuff. Like Cardi B didn't have these opportunities. Nicki still had something. K Max says Nicki better stop playing. Nicki got all that mouth, but I think Cardi got them hands and will hunt her down about her kids. And I feel like this is what Nicki's trying to do, provoke Cardi B, because Cardi B seems to be very hot headed. And it's like, I mean, we've seen it. It's like she gets into a lot of legal altercations and stuff. Even this last court case that she had, she just won the case and she came out of the court and she threw something at a reporter who asked her a question. And it's like, sometimes you just need to calm yourself. There are going to be people who are going to antagonize you, trying to get you to get out of character just so they could sue you to make money off of you. And you fall for it every single time. And I feel like this is what Nicki's trying to do. Nicki's trying to antagonize Cardi B, goad her into doing something, so she will put herself in a position to lose everything that she has built. You're gonna do something violent and either end up in jail, end up hurt, and you have children to think about. So you can't let people get you out of character like that. You have to be mature sometimes. Sometimes you just do have to take the high road. Yep. Jay says Lil Kim was right about Nicki this whole time. She is jealous of competition. Nicki hates to see anybody else in the limelight but herself. I think a lot of people owe Lil Kim an apology because they painted her. She was just this bitter person. They painted Lil Kim out to be the person that Nicki actually is now. AJ says, I feel like she thinks the executives are pushing Cardi to replace her, but even still, Cardi wasn't as disrespectful like Nicki was with Lil Kim. And even if they are, right? You can't, at the end of the day, it's the public's decision. The public choose who to listen to, whose music to buy and support. And if people are just feeling Cardi B, you can't change that. So and to me, a label, that's what they are supposed to do. Push their artist to be the biggest and the best. That's what you are supposed to do. That's nothing personal against Nicki Minaj. Fight back. If you think that somebody's coming here to take your spot, you push yourself to show that that spot is yours. But it's like she takes everything so personally. It's like Nicki really believes that the entire female rap industry belongs to her. She should be able to gatekeep it and say who gets to have a career, who gets to come in. And it's like she's delusional. She could not build anything outside of music. So she tries to make music her actual empire. She thinks female rap is her company. And she gets to run it how she wants. She gets to pick who comes in, who will be the employees. That is how she thinks about female rap. Yeah, this was sick. Like, okay, it's one thing y'all are trading insults about your kids, but then Nicki took it a step further and actually threatened to physically harm Cardi B's daughter. That's crazy. It has to be drugs. It has to be something. That's not normal. And you know what's disappointing to me is that, y'all, when all these girls in the industry are going through their shit, Cardi B is usually the one, and sometimes she's the only one speaking out in support of them. When Meg was going through her stuff with Tory, Cardi B is speaking out about it. I saw recently Young Thug was going through his stuff with all those released jail calls and stuff. Cardi B showing him support. Everybody's shunning him, and Cardi B showing him support. And Cardi B is always the one speaking out for these people. And now here she is, and she's being ganged up on, and she's being attacked, and everybody's silent. It's like the whole industry is turning a blind eye, and she has to face this by herself publicly. I'm not saying that people probably aren't, like, showing her support privately, probably calling her up and saying, stay strong and stuff like that. But to me, that's meaningless. If you support me, support me publicly. That's where it counts. And it's like she's standing on her own doing all of this while pregnant. She has to fight on her own. Where are all the people that she stood up for? None of them are speaking out publicly in support of her. And I just feel like that's the saddest part of all of this. Let me just go to Twitter, refresh my page, and see if anything else new happened, because this thing, it keeps evolving. When everything went on the other night, I was like, okay, well, that's the end of it. Woke up this morning to a shit show going on Twitter. It was crazy. Now people are saying she's dropping, like hints that she really wants to call Beyonce's name, but she's afraid to do it. And I think she knows that's the one fight she can't win. I mean, Beyonce is like the people's darling. She's never in drama. So if you come for Beyonce, the problem is you. The problem is you. And I think Beyonce's fans are a little more crazed than hers. That's one name she's not gonna call. Yep, Shadow says, I believe that's why JT didn't turn in her verse for Meg. I remember that whole thing too. JT is like, I feel like JT put all her hopes on being this so-called princess. Nicki's gonna crown her as the princess of rap. She's stuck right up under Nicki's ass, being Nicki's lapdog, because she thought she would have gotten that stamp, that public stamp of approval, and that didn't happen. And now Nicki's clowning her. So it's like, girl, you lost your friends. You lost the support of somebody who genuinely supported you, and now you look like a fool for nothing. I remember when Nicki had her on live and told her to rap that distract that she did, and she was there doing it like, oh my God, I can't. What I didn't like was y'all. We didn't talk about this where this call was leaked with Cardi B going off about Ice Spice and Lato got some strays. I was like, oh my god, Lato is like one of the only people who publicly supports Cardi B. In every interview, she praises Cardi B. She speaks highly of her, and now you're like, I was like, oh my goodness, that was that was something. She did apologize, and I get it. I mean, like you're emotional, and I mean, Lado was a bit pussy to be quite honest, because Ice Spice has been antagonizing her for almost a year in music, online, everything, and then you just like you go work with her. And I get the business decision behind doing a song with Ice Spice, but you tolerated all that disrespect to now come and work with her, and the song didn't even do well. But yeah. Miss Utopia says Nicki Minaj started calling Cardi B's child ugly first. I just cannot believe Nicki Minaj called Culture and Blossom those names. And y'all, somebody did make a point. Notice she's speaking about the girls. She has not said one thing about Wave. And somebody was like, oh, she really is not a girl's girl. She goes after women, females, because she has not said a word about the boy, but she's attacking the girls. That's crazy. Yup, see, somebody just said it. Mind you, Nicki didn't say shit about Cardi's son at all, but she kept going after Cardi's daughters and the girl that her brother assaulted. Are you noticing something here? What is her problem with girls and women? It's crazy. And then this is some real hater behavior, because Cardi B's children are far from ugly. Cardi B makes cute children. You just want to pinch their cheeks like, ooh. They're cute. She has cute babies. And it was at that point I was like, okay, this woman is delusional. If you could look at Cardi B's kids and call them ugly, something is wrong with you. And then she tried to make the statement saying that Cardi B is jealous of her son's hair because her son's hair is longer than her kid's hair. And I'm like, in the year of our Lord 2025, we are still having this good hair conversation as a black woman. And you are talking about your child having better, longer hair than Cardi B's children. And it just clicked in my head like, of all things to brag about, you are bragging about long hair on your child, not on yourself, because she can't compare her hair to Cardi B's hair. We've seen what the both of their hair looks like. So she has to compare the kids' hair. That's crazy. Nicki quoted a Bob who pointed out that Cardi had tweeted, I'm so glad my son is smart and knows his ABCs. Okay, and so she's not allowed to be happy that her son has reached certain milestones. Like, what parent doesn't do that? I think if I pull up my Facebook right now, you will see pictures of my children hitting certain milestones. And I'm like, oh my God, he did this. Oh my God, he did that. That's what mothers do. But Nicki's taking it personally. Nicki's seeing herself in everything that Cardi B does. So, and even if this was about Nicki, you are saying this happened sometime last year. Nicki liked a tweet about Cardi setting a bad example for her daughter since 2018. This is what started all of this. Nicki brought kids into this since 2018. Let's not go there. I know y'all like to gaslight people and say that never happened. It did. And everything that is happening now sort of validates that. We see how fast this woman started to attack these children, threatening to kick in Culture's teeth and all this shit. And y'all are still not believing that she liked that tweet in 2018 that we saw with our own two eyes. Come on. if we want to go back to who started bringing children into anything, that's where this started. 2018 with Nicki. Thank you, Miss Utopia. What are you talking about? Just because Nikki said, I think she means Cardi. Just because Cardi said she's glad that her son is smart and knows his ABCs, that doesn't mean she was talking about Nicki Minaj's child. That's what parents do. I don't understand how everything Cardi B does, everything she posts, they find a way to relate it to Nicki. Yep, we just talked about this. So if y'all are saying Cardi B brought children into it last year, and we going back that far, then let's go back to this tweet from 2018 because Nicki, that is what started this. That's what got the shoe thrown. That's what started everything. I this whole conversation about her son being slow or autistic or whatever, like where is the proof of that? I think it's just like it's something people spread because she never posts him, like hitting certain milestones that parents naturally are proud to show off. Nikki never does that with her son. And then on the other side, you could be like, okay, well, maybe she's just a very private person. She doesn't want to put her child out like that. And there are some celebrities who like to raise their children out of the public eye. So it could be that. So because people are not seeing him, they're not seeing her posting him. I mean, for God's sake, on his birthday, this woman, all of this is happening, and I think her son's birthday was yesterday or the day before. And all of this is happening on his birthday. Not a happy birthday post was posted. There was no photos posted of him even enjoying a slice of cake, nothing. So it's fueled these rumors that she's hiding him for some reason. But we don't know. This is true. Nikki's head got too big and she started thinking she was untouchable. And even in her tweets where she's talking about boycotting companies that are still working with Cardi B, and she's talking about she's talking about y'all are gonna see how much influence I have. It's like this woman truly thinks she's God. She truly thinks she's omnipotent, omnipresent. She's just God. And she has the power to do everything. And she's going to get a rude awakening because these things are like it's about money. These companies are going to work with whoever they feel could make them a profit. And Cardi B is the hottest thing out right now. Nicki really thinks she has that kind of power. If she did, Cardi B would not be around. If Nicki had the kind of power she thinks she does, she would have been able to get rid of Cardi B a long time ago. I also saw Nicki Minaj's sister liking a couple tweets that were like pro Cardi B. And then she came out and she said she was just scrolling and like her finger tapped and liked stuff by accident. But you're liking multiple things. You liked all these things by accident. So y'all, it's crazy. Ooh, let's get into this. So Jasmine says, I'm still puzzled on why Nikki calling her hoe when she have 3 kids with her husband and one from a current man. Would it be the other way around? Nikki would have 2 kids by 2 different men. This whole thing, okay, how to put this? Like, I do not agree with how Cardi B went about. I mean, I don't even know how to say it because it's like it's not my business. She's a grown woman. You could be with whoever you want. make kids with whoever you want. But I'm thinking, let me relate it to my current situation, right? So I was with one guy for 17 years, the father of my two kids, and met him as a teenager, had two kids with him, 17 years in a relationship. Throughout that relationship, like, y'all, I put up with a lot of stuff. You know, when you're young, he's a lot older than me too. So I was a teenager and he was in his 20s. Let me get that clear one time. I was 18. I keep saying teenager before people think it was like a kind of petty situation. No, I was an adult. I was 18 when I met him, and he's 8 years older than me. And I feel like I got pregnant almost immediately. And then after I had my first son, I got pregnant again. So I had my kids back to back. And how do I say this? I'm oversharing right now. So I feel like I was not ready for that level of relationship that young. And a part of me entered the relationship because I had a very bad relationship with my mother. Long story. And I just didn't want to be around her. So this guy came along and I just moved in with him because I wanted to leave my mother's house. We have this saying in the Caribbean, right? I just wanted to leave my mother's house. So I went and I moved in with this guy. And this spanned 17 years. It went on probably 10 years longer than it should have. But anyways, long story short, the relationship ended last year, right after Christmas. Things came to a head, relationship done. And shortly after, I met someone else. So I started dating this new guy. So I'm kind of relating to Cardi B's situation because she was with her husband for a very long time, had kids with him. And then after the split, somebody else came along. And you have to question sometimes, are you moving on so quickly because of the trauma from your past situation? And then here's somebody who comes along and they're treating you really nice. They're doing things that you wish the person before used to do. And it kind of sucks you in. And sometimes it could be love bombing as well. It's like this person in my situation, this person, y'all, never had a guy in my life send roses to my place of employment on Valentine's Day. And I'm like, he did the whole works, delivery guy and everything. And I'm blown away because I never experienced these things with a man before. My previous partner, the father of my kids, certainly never did stuff like that. So I got pulled in very quickly. So I'm saying all of that to say, I understand when somebody is showing you everything you wish the other person did and you fall for them very, very quickly. But it's you still have to when you leave a relationship, especially a long-term relationship. Remember, I was with this guy for 17 years and I have 2 children with him. You have to question, you have to slow down a bit. Sometimes it's best to just remain single for a while to heal, to get to learn yourself and know yourself and decide exactly what it is you want in a partner instead of jumping into something so quickly. Because I had to question, okay, am I with this person because I genuinely love them, I genuinely care about them? Or is it because they came along at a time where I was going through a lot and I just leaned on them for support and kind of trauma bonded with somebody very, very quickly? So I don't know. I think from my perspective, it's I had to ask myself those questions. Am I jumping into something too soon? I'm rebounding because I'm not used to being alone. I was with one guy for 17 years since I was 18. So it's I do not know what it's like to be alone. So I had to question, am I with this person? Did I jump into something else so soon because I'm afraid of being alone? So it's like, just from my perspective, I don't feel like it's a healthy thing to just jump from one situation to another, far less getting pregnant so soon. But adults, you try to plan your life, and things just happen and you make the best of it. I i don't know what to say. I think people would call me a hoe because I ended a 17-year relationship, and within weeks I found somebody new. When I wasn't even looking, mind you. This is somebody that I worked with, not in the same company. We worked at different companies, but our companies were partnered on a particular project, and we were both like the team leads for that project. So that's how we met. And I had known him for a couple years before, we got together. So it wasn't a total stranger, but it's just like, I do question sometimes. I'm still seeing him, by the way. But I do question sometimes, like, after ask myself, am I really in this because I want to be, or this is just because I'm afraid to be alone? And it's like, it's okay to be alone. I wish I had stayed alone for a little while after that 17-year relationship ended. Anyway, that's enough about me. Ugh. Mm, yep. Nata says nobody really has Cardi's back like she has their back. And that's true. She's always jumping in into people's stuff. I think the last time I saw her, when they were dragging Tyler, and Cardi B spoke up, and it's like, she has no dog in that fight. She just keeps speaking up for people. It's like, when she sees somebody being attacked, I don't know if it triggers her or something, because she knows what that feels like to have everybody just ganging up on you. And she feels like she needs to jump in and speak up for people. But when she's being attacked, everybody else is silent. You Troll says the one thing that annoyed me the most about this beef was when Spicy Cold jumped into the mix. All I saw was an attention seeker looking for her relevance. Yeah, like, and you could tell by all the people just ganging up on Cardi B that she is the one to beat. She is the one in the spot that they want, because they're not going after, you know, they're not going after Glorilla. They're not going after whoever else. I can't even remember people's names right now. They're going after Cardi B because she is the one in the spot that they want. And you can tell, like, all these people had their diss tracks recorded, waiting, and they've been antagonizing Cardi B to get into a beef with her so they could drop this diss track and see if they get some sort of, I don't know, they get on the charts, they I don't know, they're using this thing to boost their own careers. And it's like, okay, so you drop a diss track, it'll go viral, everybody will be talking about it for a week, but then you drop a project and nobody cares. So this is not the way to go about building your career. It's just not. But they saw Cardi B come in and have a problem with Nicki Minaj, and then Cardi B blew up. So they're looking at it like, okay, well, Cardi B did it with Nicki and it worked out for her, so maybe we can do it with Cardi B too. But what they don't realize is that Cardi B blew up because of her own personality. Cardi B didn't blow up because she had beef with Nicki. She blew up before the beef with Nicki. But all they are seeing is she has beef with Nicki and she has made it to this level. So they are thinking that they need to follow some sort of formula like that, where they need to beef with her for their careers to take off. Hey, Night Charm. Yes, it's me. Hello, it's me. Hello, it's me. Oh, my Lord. I do not think Nicki has friends, not just female friends, friends in general. Because My friends would not allow me to get online and behave like this. If they have to take my phone, if they have to mash up my Wi-Fi, like my friends are not going to let me crash out online like this. And then you'll remember when her childhood best friend, can't remember her last name, I know her first name was Thembi. And she's like some sort of like movie, she's in that production kind of field. And she signed on to work on a movie with Cardi B. That was the movie that Cardi B was supposed to do. Assisted living, I believe was the name of it. And I remember Nicki crashing out when she found out that her childhood best friend had signed on to do this movie that was supposed to be starring Cardi B. And it says a lot because your childhood best friend knows that you have all these problems with this person. She knows how you feel about this person and she still chose to work with that person. It says a lot about how people think of you, because I do not think, I don't know, like I personally have a best friend. I'm trying to think if we were in that position. And the way I ride for my best friend, because we've been through a lot together, there is no opportunity anybody could offer me that is going to get me to take any kind of sides against my best friend. We just don't operate like that. And I would like to think it's the same for her. So just to see that, you know, this is not just a friend, this is your childhood best friend who you grew up with, chose to work with Cardi B over you. So it's like she really doesn't have any true friends. Yes, the whole crew, the whole crew. K-Max says, have we actually heard Nicki's son talk or say any words? If not, technically, Cardi was just stating the obvious. Well, I mean, it could just be her wanting to keep her son out of the limelight to protect him. I mean, some celebrities are like that. They raise their children as much as possible out of the public view to protect them. So it could be that. But Nicki has this habit of every time Cardi B says something, she makes it a point to debunk it. So I remember when Cardi B had said, take a man to a park. Nicki actually went and took a man to a park and posted pictures of him at a park just to prove that, okay, he could go to a park. So I would not be shocked if she after Cardi B says her son is nonverbal and all these things, that she goes out of her way to post a video or something with him talking. And that would be the first time we've ever seen that if she does that. And it's so funny because Nicki's fans are like, they're trying to defend this and they're saying, oh, Cardi B talked about her kids first, which is a lie. And, you know, like they're defending the thing she's saying about culture. And it's like, I can't. I just can't. They're defending what she is saying, but then on the other hand, they're like, Cardi B is taking it too far. All of a sudden, they have morals. They're backing it up when Nicki says it, but when Cardi says it, it's too far. Mind you, this is the same woman who was making fun of Megan's dead mother. So it's like, that wasn't too far for you. Dark Africa says, so y'all agree Papa Bear doesn't know his ABC? We don't know. We've never seen anything. So it's neither here nor there for me. But it's like so many people are saying it, you have to start to wonder, okay, well, maybe they know something we don't. But at the end of the day, who cares? I mean, he would not be the first child who is affected in that way. And it's not like, I don't know. I didn't like how Cardi B sort of said it like, you know, like because of Nicki's ways or whatever, God punished her with a child who has, like learning disabilities or whatever. Because then it's like you're saying any parent who has a nonverbal child, that is their punishment. So sometimes you just have to be careful about how you talk about situations like these, because yes, you're targeting one person, but it could be applied broadly. It's like you're saying children who are born with these things are punishments to their parents. And then that's a very, it's a very hateful thing to say, because you have children and you are currently pregnant. You don't know what could be the situation with yours. So I don't know. It's just a hateful thing to say in general. I get it when you feel provoked and you feel like, you're just hot. You're just saying stuff without thinking. And then I saw this comment on Twitter where somebody said Papa Bear and Culture should grow up and get married, fall in love and get married, Romeo and Juliet style. Y'all, could you imagine? Could you imagine? I think that would be the only thing that would unite these two women at this point, if their children grew up and fell in love with each other. Gigi says his favorite color is 5. Ah, Miss Utopia says, I know a few women who got pregnant maybe at a time where it wasn't convenient, but instead of aborting their child, they went and had their child. And I mean, I think Cardi B is Catholic. Correct me if I'm wrong, and they have like a very strong view against abortion, and you have to give her that. Okay, so maybe she rushed into things with this new guy a little bit, but she chose to keep a baby. That baby is going to be born and raised knowing that it was wanted. And I think that's important. She knew that people were going to drag her. I'm sure she knew people would call her all types of names. People would say she's a hoe. People would say she jumped from one man to the next and she's having another baby while the other one isn't even a year yet. Like, she knew the discourse that would happen. And she still chose to have her baby because she wanted that baby. And I feel like that baby is going to grow up feeling loved, feeling wanted, because in spite of all of that his or her mother knew she was going to face, she still chose to have you. She could have taken the easy route out and had an abortion and nobody would have known about it. Miss Utopia says both things can be true. You can be moving on too fast and you could be moving on to a person that is a really good guy. Yeah, and to me, I am just now figuring that out myself. Like, sometimes I feel like I moved on too fast because the new relationship isn't perfect either. Like, we've had arguments and stuff about things, and there's my ex lingering in the background causing problems, and it's just a lot. So sometimes I feel like you know, I should have had total closure in the previous situation, stayed alone for a while, focused on myself before I got into something. But it's like I wasn't looking to get into something. It just happened. Somebody just came along, and that person was actually there for me through the stuff I was going through at the end of the relationship with my ex. Like, y'all, it was a lot. I'm talking like police had to be called, all kinds of stuff went on. And this person who I had known for 2 years before was the person who was helping me through all of that. Like, no questions asked. Let me give you all a little example, right? So my ex, when I ended things, trashed my house, trashed completely. I wasn't even home at the time. And I came back home to chaos and disaster. Everything smashed. TVs, my brand new laptop, everything in the kitchen. I'm talking appliances, small appliances smashed, microwave on the floor smashed, and then so he's slamming all these things on the floor, and then it's chipping all the tiles in my kitchen. So in addition to everything he destroyed in the house, he destroyed my floor. Y'all, it was a lot. It was a lot. And then men are something else. Like, I don't even know how I had the mental capacity to even try to be with another one, because that man turned me off men. I was ready to be a lesbian after that. So here's what he did, right? So I had a cat. This might be oversharing, but I had a cat. And I used to buy chicken liver for my cat. The cat just loved the chicken liver. So I would buy packets of chicken liver and cook it with, like, like vegetables and rice and stuff, and make a little casserole for the cat. That cat was spoiled, okay? So I had packets of chicken liver. I took it out of the freezer. It was frozen, and I took it out of the freezer and I had it in a bowl on the counter, just thawing out and stuff. And this is when this whole destruction of my house took place. And when I came home, in addition to smashing all my belongings, smashing my floor, he took the chicken liver and he smeared it all over the walls. So I came home and there was chicken liver blood all over my walls. I know this is oversharing, but I swear to God, this is what happened. So this happened on the 22nd of December, last year, 3 days before Christmas. And I spent the next few days, I think I even spent Christmas Day painting, because there was chicken liver blood all over my walls. So I spent the whole Christmas season cleaning up, painting and stuff. And the new guy is the guy who helped me through all of that. So I feel like maybe a part of me, like, fell for him as quickly as I did, because he was like my support system through that. And yeah, that was oversharing. But yeah, men. K-Max says, you may plan your life all you want, but God is the ultimate planner. True. Maybe the new guy is who God wanted you to be with. Maybe. You said you worked together, so he's been in your life. God just changed his title. Maybe. I'm not denying that. I'm just like, it happened so quickly. Amari says, thank you for being so open to share that with us, Camille. Yeah, and I know, people might, I don't know if I still have haters on YouTube who might chop up this live and be like, haha, this happened to you and blah, blah, blah. You all know how things go on YouTube, but it is what it is. Hey, bougie body. Hey! You're late, but you're here. Onyx says, can we please talk about the fact that her husband is a murderer as well? Listen, I don't know. We know this guy is a registered sex offender. We know his history like that. Yes, we know he is convicted. To me, you kill somebody, you're a murderer, but in the eyes of the law, it's manslaughter. So he is a convicted manslaughterer. But the part that people don't really talk about is that this man has some pedophilia tendencies, because it's not, and I'm not even talking about the victim, Jennifer Huff. I'm not even talking about her, because they were both 16. I'm talking about Nicki. I remember Nicki saying out her own mouth that she was with Kenneth when she was 14. And he's like 5-6 years older than her. So he was at least 19-20 when she was 14. So he was a grown man with a 14-year-old child. And it's crazy to me that she doesn't see herself as a victim of his. But yeah. So when you say, let's talk about him being a murderer, yeah, we know he's a murderer. Yeah, we know he's a sex offender. But the part people don't seem to talk about is the fact that Nicki was a victim of his. Her damn self. It's like he groomed her and she doesn't even see it. Like how could you grow up and get married to the person who groomed you when you was 14? It's crazy. Okay, Max says, I wonder how long this is going to go on. I don't think it will end until Cardi put them pause on Nicki. I really hope she doesn't because it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. You're going to throw away your entire career, your life. You have children to think about, children to set an example for, and you're going to throw that all away over somebody who is deliberately antagonizing you to do stuff to throw your life away. I was not falling into that trap. Tamara says, Camille, I'm glad you got away from your ex. Girl, me too. And it's like when you're in a situation, it doesn't seem as bad. It's when I left the situation, I'm looking back at things that happened over these 17 years and I'm like, whoa, I can't believe I accepted that shit. I cannot believe I allowed this shit to happen. It's crazy. Like, I could tell you all some stories, but this life is not about me. Miss Utopia says, whoa, you're a good one, girl, because if a man do that to me, he's not seeing his children. Okay, I do not agree with that. I don't care what nobody says. I don't agree with keeping children away from their father under any circumstances. Even if I don't feel safe around you, we could work out something where you can have like supervised visitation or something. If I'm not going to keep him away from his children. But again, this might be oversharing, but actually, he does not want to see his children. So I'm a totally single mom doing everything by myself right now because it's like the minute I left him, he decided if I can't have you, fuck them kids. So yeah, and I have been trying to get him to see that okay, my problem with you has nothing to do with the kids. Our problems have nothing to do with the kids. You could still see your kids, you could come pick them up, take them out, but he within himself has decided fuck them kids. So yeah, I'm just doing it all alone right now and it is what it is. Trouble and a bubble says, hey Camila, our yearly life. I know, right? I know, right? I just like you know what, now that I'm a single mom, maybe I should get back on YouTube more actively for extra income because I used to make some, some little small change on here. So maybe I should come back on. I don't even think my channel is monetized anymore though, but it is what it is. I'll think about it. I just like I have a very demanding job and to get home from work, when I get home from work I have to cook because I have to make sure my kids eat, have lunch for school the next day and stuff, and I just don't have time to get to do edited videos on YouTube anymore. I do not have the time. And then my older son is preparing for exams. I'm helping him with that. And then my younger son joined the track team and is taking him to like track meets and stuff. So it's like, I just don't have time to sit and edit YouTube videos for hours. But sometimes I see stuff going on in celebrity land and I'm like, man, I wish I was on YouTube. I wish I was still on YouTube so I could talk about this shit. But then I'm like, oh, Camille. The Tadavia says, that's a shame that the children should go without a father because he can't be with you. Well, unfortunately, that's just how some men think. They just, I don't know. Sometimes you wonder, like, if when a man reacts that way, you have to wonder, did he even want children to begin with, or the children was just something to tie him to you? So now that he doesn't have you, it's easy for him to walk away from the children. And mind you, y'all, I spent 17 years with this man. I never thought of him like that. And actually, I tell everybody this. In that 17 years, I was the career oriented one. I was the person like chasing education. I was going to school at night, working a full-time job in the day. And it's like I was I think I was more focused on providing a certain level of life for my children because I grew up poor. I don't want my children to experience that. So I'm a hustler. I'm working. I'm studying to better myself. And I have tunnel vision. My state of mind for like the early part of my kids' life was provide, provide, provide. I want them to be able to have everything they ask for. I don't want them to ever experience having to go without something. And so I was always the one working outside the home, and he was always the one, going to their parents' days, going to their sports days, going to their school events and stuff. And it's like they grew up closer to him because of that. So I always said, like, my kids were closer to their dad than to me. And I guess that's the price you pay when you want to provide a certain level of life for your kids. Something something suffers. You just can't have it all. It's either you you focus on your professional life so that you can make the money to provide a certain lifestyle for your children, but then your relationship with your children suffers. Or you focus mainly on the children, you make sure you're there for every event, you're extra hands on, but your professional life suffers because you have to keep taking days off to go to their events. You're exhausted all the time. And so it's like, to me, in the corporate world, you cannot have it all. It's either your professional life is going to suffer or your personal life is going to suffer. And I think because I grew up poor and I did not want my children to experience that, I chose my professional life. I chose to, like, climb the ladder, get the degrees. I chose that over being the hands-on parent. And looking back at it, I think, like, that is something I regret. Like, if I had to do it all over again, I don't think I'd make the same decisions. But at the same time, it's like, I'm so proud of myself that I've been able to provide things for my kids that it was like far outside the realm of possibility for me when I was growing up. So it is what it is. Where was I going with that story? Oh, I was saying that because I was like more the provider, the professional, my kids grew up closer to their father. So it really did take a toll on them when he, decided to make his grand exit. Mind you, I ended the relationship. I threw him out of my house, but I never once said, you can't have a relationship with your kids. I would never do that. But it is what it is. Yeah, I'm not the first single mother. I'm not going to be the last. And thankfully, see what I was just talking about, focusing on career and your professional life and stuff, and your personal life suffering because of it. Thankfully, in the situation that I'm in now, because I focused on career and professional life and stuff, I am in a position where, it's like, it's not perfect, but I am able to provide for my children on my own. So I'm doing the single mother thing. It's hard, but it is what it is. K Max says you don't have to edit videos, just come live and talk to us like this. We used to chill and have fun in the chats. I know, right? Let me not make any promises. I'm over at Instagram. I post every now and again. Um, if the spirit just takes me one day, I'll come live. But I can't make any promises. Miss Utopia says, thank God I was never a single mother. Even after my divorce, I was never a single mother. I was a single woman, but I was never a single mother. Yeah, but that's when you have a mature man in the picture that understands that even if you all are not together, he still has a responsibility to his kids and he loves his kids. If only all men were like that. Trouble in a Bubble says, so what you saying is you've been a single mom? Yeah, pretty much. And that's the other thing that scared me about getting into another relationship because I don't know, just the idea of another man around my kids is scary to me. I never thought I would be one of those women who, like have a stepfather for their kids. I never believed in. I thought if my relationship with my kid's father ended, I'd just be alone for the rest of my life. I never wanted a stepfather situation. Yeah, I'll leave this one up. I don't see why not. It's getting a bit long. When I leave lives up and it's like 2 hours and shit, like people actually listen to those entire things after the fact. Like I could not do it. I can't listen to a two. I could be in a 2 hour live while it's going on, but I'm not going back and listening to 2 hours of somebody talking. I'm not doing it. So I don't know. People actually listen to 2 hours. Miss Utopia says you are a great mother. You're damn right. I know I am. I know I am. I'm like, it's tough. It's tough realizing you have to do everything by yourself, but I mean, it is what it is. I'm not the first, I won't be the last. And I feel like children grow up one day and they will remember who was there and who wasn't. And, you know, it is what it is. K Max says just don't badmouth him to the kids. They will see him for who he is. You can't make him have a relationship with them. That's just more love for you. I think I think my older son still makes an effort to try to have a relationship with his father, but my younger son is just completely checked out. My younger son is just like, fuck that man. It's crazy, but yeah, it is what it is. Um, Amari says, I think I'm going live. I think going live is the best bet, maybe 3 to 4 times out of the year for you. I mean, at this point, I'll take anything because you're amazing. Oh, yeah, I just be so surprised, like after I disappear for months at a time and then just randomly come live that there's anybody that still remembers me and comes in here anymore. Honestly. But I will try because I feel like, you know what, I'm a single mom now. Maybe YouTube could be an additional source of income. Maybe I should start it back up. So maybe I'll try. Um, Miss Utopia says, when I went to nursing school, I remember the nursing school told us that you can only do two. If you work, you are a parent and you go to school, one is going to suffer. That is true. And it's the same in like the corporate world. Like it is true. It's very demanding and it's a lot. I wish I could explain to you all what my job entails. It's very demanding. Sometimes I get home from work and I just open my computer and it's more work because I haven't finished what I have going on and work takes up a lot of my time. The one thing I do like about my job though is that I get 2 days where I get to work from home every week. So I only go out to work 3 days a week. And that makes it easier, saves money on like the commute and stuff. And I like that. I like that kind of flexibility. So yes, it's very demanding, but they do try to, give you like little perks and stuff to try to make it a little easier, a little more bearable. So like tomorrow, I can go live and talk shit for hours tonight because tomorrow I don't have to go into the office. I don't have to sit in an hour of traffic to get to work, so I could sleep in a little later. And I just love my work from home days. The Tadavia says corporate talks about work-life balance and it's just catching phrase. They want productivity and you want to be there for your family. And I think I am fortunate enough to work for a company that, yes, the job is demanding, but they understand that and they kind of like they work with you. So for instance, y'all, I have the best boss ever. I truly have the best boss ever. She's not like she's not uptight. She's very understanding. I could tell her, I have an emergency with my kids or something. I've worked in places before. Like if you say you have an emergency, they want to know exactly what the emergency is. And you have to explain to them, okay, well, my kid is sick, he has the flu, his nose is runny, whatever. You have to literally explain what your emergency is. And sometimes it's like you don't want to share your business with people like that. My boss, I could tell her, I have a little situation. I'm not going to be able to come in today. And she's just like, you know what, Camille, you do what you have to do, check in with me, let me know if everything's okay. And she's so cool about everything, so I don't even worry about that. I feel like I have more of a work-life balance where I work now than anywhere else I worked before, but it's still just a very demanding job. K Max says, but you shouldn't have to do it financially by yourself. Take that ninja to court. Well, do I have a story for you? Listen, a lot of people have been telling me this, and I'm just like, my kids are teenagers. I don't want to go through that because he'd only be responsible for like paying child support or whatever for just like a couple more years. Is it worth it? I don't know. But people have been telling me to do this. So actually, when school reopened for the new school year in September, you all know every school year you have to buy books, you have to buy uniforms, you have to buy shoes, all these things that goes into preparing a child for a new school year. And I have two, and things are very expensive. So I'm like, whoa. And on top of that, I'm paying a mortgage. I have all the bills dealing with groceries, everything by myself. So with these additional expenses to prepare for school, I'm like, okay, let me reach out to this man and say, you know what, do you intend to help with your children? Mind you, we had not spoken for months, but because of school reopening, I said, you know what, he needs the help. I can't be doing all this by myself. You know what this ninja told me? Because I told you I'm seeing somebody else, and of course he got wind of that. So now he's aware that I'm seeing somebody else. This ninja told me, and you have a new man, let he pay for it. That's what he told me. I reached out to him for assistance with his own children with their school expenses, and he told me, let my new man handle that. And you all, I was blown away. I was blown away. So yeah, all you think is joke I making about this man. This is what I'm going through right now. And I'm like, you know what? I am not bothering to fight up in court with anybody. God will handle he. Miss Utopia says, let me give you a little tip that will help you as a single mother on the weekends. Make big pots of food. I do that on Sundays. Trust me, making a giant pot of chili or a giant pot of spaghetti and eat it for 3 days. I do that on Sundays. So we do like a huge Sunday lunch with like, Caribbean food, callaloo, macaroni pie, red beans, stewed chicken, maybe some fried rice. We do the works on a Sunday. And then that lasts throughout like Monday and Tuesday. And I don't have to cook for a couple days. So yeah. And then some days I don't cook at all because my kids are teenagers. They can handle themselves. So, like when I get home from work and I'm a little tired, really don't feel to cook, they can go make they can make small stuff. They can't make any gourmet meals or anything like that, but they can do like, like some stir fry noodles. They could do like some mac and cheese, and they could do stuff to feed themselves if I'm too tired to cook. Who could forget this pajama party? I wonder, is Lioness of Judah still around? Like, I don't be on YouTube at all. I don't even know who's around anymore. But those were the days. Okay, Max says, when I go back and listen to replays of lives, I do it at least 1.5 times the speed. I do that too. Like, yeah, I speed it up so I can still get all the tea. It's better watching live because we can comment so it doesn't seem so long. Yep. Miss Utopia says, don't let a man move in your house laying over your children. If you date again, let him have his house and you have yours. And actually, the guy I'm dating now is in the process of building his house. Like, he's very driven and very, like, nothing like the guy I was with before. My previous partner, let's not go there. Everything was mine, thank God. House, mine, on my name only. Car, mine. The mistake I made when I bought my first car was it was on both of our names because I did not have a license. I still can't drive to this day. I'm afraid of driving, but I needed to have a car in the family so that the kids could be taken to school and picked up and stuff. So I bought the car. And in Trinidad, apparently there was this thing, although now I have learned that that's not true. When I bought the car, they told me because I don't drive and I don't have a license, I need to do it jointly with somebody who does have a license because I can't own a car if I don't have a license. That's what they told me. So even though I paid for the car is mine. I did all the job letter and documentation and stuff to purchase the car. On everything came from my end. I had to put his name because he was the one who was actually driving it. So I bought the car, making my car payments and stuff, and finally paid off the car. And remember, I told you all this whole drama with my ex happened on December 22nd. Well, on December 21st is when finally paid off the car, and we went to transfer it from, because it was on the car company's name. So finally paid it off and went on December 21st to get it transferred to my name. And that's when they told me I could not transfer it to my name because I don't have a license. So they had to transfer it jointly to both of us. So both of our names were on the car title. So boom, December 22nd, all hell breaks loose. Police called everything. This man, I know I'm oversharing, but this man jumps in my car that I paid for by myself to drive away. So I'm like, oh, hell to the no. And I made the police take the keys from him. And I'm like, this is my car. You know, this man had the audacity to say, when the police trying to sort out between the two of us, okay, whose vehicle is this? This man stood and he said, it's my car, my name on the title. And y'all, my jaw dropped. Because he knew the arrangement was his name was only on the title because I did not have a license. And he was able to tell the police that was his car because his name is on the title. So the police told me, I cannot prevent him from taking the car because his name is on the title. So I was like, okay, y'all want me to pull up my bank statements, everything showing y'all that I paid for this solely by myself. And I'm opening my bank app and stuff to show the police. So the police, they don't know what the hell to do. But at this point, I have the keys and I'm not giving it up. So I'm like, fuck this shit, is my car. Because it's like, okay, you can't tell me he has a claim to the car because his name is on the title. My name is also on the title. So what? But anyways, the keys are now in my possession. So the police is like, okay, well, ma'am, it's your car, whatever. But we advise you to just let him take it for tonight because you want him off the property. So if you want him off the property, he has nowhere to go. He has no means to get anywhere. Let him take the car just to get him to leave right now and sort out everything else after. So I ended up giving him back the keys. And that was how I got him to leave my property that night. Now, he left. He has my car. Now I have to go through the hell of getting it back. This man disappeared with my car. Y'all, I went through hell. I had to report the car stolen. I had to make a police report. And the police is telling me, well, his name is on the title. We can't go and repossess a car from him where his name is on it. So I'm like, so my name is also on it. Does that mean nothing? And they're like, okay, well, we can't do anything because his name is on it. And the way they view it is like whoever is in possession of it gets to keep it. And he happened to be in possession of it at the time. So, y'all, it was hell to get back that car. How I got it back, he actually brought it back willingly because it was giving problems. It needed some work on it. And I guess he could not afford to do the work on it. So he figured, okay, well, I'll carry it back. And that's how I got my car back. And a few weeks after getting the car back, totaled it. Totaled the fucking car. Which was a blessing in disguise because I never drove that car. I can't drive. I'm terrified of driving. So he was in charge of the car, doing maintenance and stuff. I was very hands-off with that car. To me, I just bought it and he was the driver. He was supposed to maintain it and stuff. When I got back the car and I got like a mechanic to check it out and stuff, and they were like, yeah, At this point, you might as well scrap this shit because it's too many things. Like he drove it for so long without doing proper maintenance on it that it's just like it wasn't worth it. So a few weeks later, totaled the car, filed an insurance claim, got what I could get from insurance, and then I sold the car, and got a portion for whoever bought it to scrap it for parts. So I don't know if they're gonna fix it over or whatever. And I bought a new one because the money I got from insurance and from selling the car salvage value or whatever they call it, and then I put some of my own saving towards it, and I was able to get a new one. So it worked out. And yeah, that's what happened. Again, I'm oversharing. Let's see these comments. Y'all, I've been through hell since December last year. I'm not kidding. Miss Utopia says, and have those kids help you slightly. They can help you fold their clothes once you wash them. They can put their own clothes. Yeah, they help. They help. They clean. They do the dishes. They do their own laundry, and they're a little lazy. I think it's I don't want to say normal, but it's expected for teenage boys to be a little lazy. So I have to constantly be on them. Get out of bed, go do something. But once I tell them to do something, they do it. And they're very respectful children. They don't curse, they're not disrespectful. And yeah, it is what it is. Okay, Max says, I don't care if he only has to pay child support for a week. I would still take his ass to court and make him help pay for college if your boys want to go there. I don't know. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm just happy to be out of the situation, and the less I have to communicate with that guy, the better. Because every time I speak to him, every time I have to engage with him, it brings me down. So I'm just like, you know what? He's gone. Let it stay that way. And then even if the court like says, okay, he has to pay a certain amount, I'm not going to get that out of him. I don't even think he has that to give me. So it's like, what's the point? And then in Trinidad, like if you don't pay child support and it racks up and stuff, they could actually issue a warrant for your arrest. So it will be like I'm having my kid's father arrested because I know he does not have that money to pay me. So it is what it is. But what hurts me the most about the situation is that my children had an entire extended family on his side. So his mother and father, that's their grandparents. They have cousins on that side. They have aunts and uncles on that side. And it's like because the relationship with me and him ended, that entire side of the family just pulled away from my kids. So they have no relationship with their aunts and uncles and cousins and grandparents and stuff anymore. And it's like, I don't understand that. I just don't get it. The problem is with me. The problem is not with the kids. So because I chose not to be with your son, you don't want to have a relationship with your grandkids anymore. That's crazy to me. It's crazy. You troll says, wait, you mean in Trini or you live in the US? No, I live in Trinidad. I am a total Trinidadian, born and raised and living in Trinidad. I've never been to the US actually. Yeah, this is how I feel sometimes. Like I didn't create them by myself, but you know what? I just think like God is good. I've never not been able to provide, so it's like I'll be okay. I'm a hustler, y'all. Bougie Body says Lioness is around a little. I think she's about to start back doing lives. Well, yeah, I know Lovely T is still doing her thing. Lovely T is like a legend on YouTube. Yep. Yep. And if I could advise anybody to do anything, y'all, you see a man, Don't put no man name on nothing. I don't care how much you love this person. I don't care how much you trust this person. You could think this person, you and this person are going to be together forever. I don't care if it's your husband. Don't put any man name on anything that belongs to you. Don't do it. If I could take his name off my kids, I would do that too. They have his last name. Don't put a man's name on anything you own. You will regret it in the long run. Okay, Max says I wouldn't have made not other car payment. Let the repo man have it. I had finished paying off the car. The car was fully owned by me. So it's like, yeah, I had nothing to gain. I could not do anything. So he took the car in December, and I think I got it back somewhere in March. Whose name was the loan in? I hope not yours. Yep, it was. And his name was also on the insurance, everything. But you know, the new car that I bought, they told me they don't understand who told me that I could not have a car in my name if I didn't have a license. They said that is not true. Like, if you are buying, like, okay, so I don't drive, but if I want to buy my kid a car, I could, and I could have the car in my name and just gift it to my kid. So somebody advised me poorly and told me that I'm not allowed to have my name alone on a car title if I don't have a license. So the second car, they told me that was not true, and I was able to purchase that car, and my name alone is on the title, even though I don't drive. So yeah, don't ask me what I'm doing with a car. I just have a car and I can't drive it, okay? But I did the I'm trying to learn to drive. It's just I have a fear of driving. Like, y'all, I could drive on a clear road with no other cars on it. But you see, like on highways and stuff where all these cars and trucks and shit are just zooming past you, I get very, very paranoid. I clam up. I can't. I'm just like, I'm terrified on the road. But I'm trying because I'm like, I need to learn to drive because it's a level of freedom and independence, not having to like depend on people to drive you around. So when I'm going to do my grocery shopping and stuff, I have to get somebody to come drive my car and take me around, or like I hire somebody and it's an extra expense because I have to pay this person. So I'm like, you know what, Camille, you're big and you have sense. It's time to learn to drive. So I'm literally trying. Yeah, the cops in Trinidad, they're crazy. Actually, when I went to make the report that the car was stolen, the officer actually told me, that's material things. Just leave him with it because you're lucky he didn't take your life. That's what a police officer told me. I'm lucky that my ex didn't take my life and all he took was the car. So just let it go. A police officer on the island of Trinidad, in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, told me I should leave a man with my property that I worked hard for and paid for by myself and just be grateful that it's not my life that he took. It's crazy. Miss Utopia says, okay, y'all, let me start sharing something with y'all. Since August 11th, I've been on a weight loss journey. Okay, you go, girl. That's me snapping my fingers. I can omit I started Ozempic that day and it is amazing. You know, I've been hearing everybody talking about this Ozempic thing, and I'm just like, you know, I have a little extra meat on my bones, but I'm scared. I'm scared to put any like foreign substance in my body like that. Like, I'm terrified. And then I'm hearing like it may have side effects and stuff. So you just like document your journey and let me know how it's going, because I don't know. I think like when you reach a certain age, it's just very hard to lose weight. No matter what you do, your metabolism slows down and you just like there's trouble areas that you just can't seem to lose weight from. And for me, that's my thighs. My thighs, I have thick ass thighs. Okay, and it's just like, I don't know, sometimes you need that extra help, but I'm just afraid of this was a big thing. K Max says, I hope you got a notarized letter this time that the car is yours and whomever is driving it has no interest in the car. Well, I didn't have to do that because the title is in my name and my name alone this time. K Max says, oh fucking well. Let him sit in jail or pay. He said fuck y'all, so fuck him. Sorry, not sorry. I don't know. I still have a little compassion in me. Call me crazy, but it's like I can't. I'm not a spiteful person, so I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to be the reason that my kid's father goes to jail. Yep. One would think the family would exercise common sense where he doesn't. Abandoning the grandchildren is just wrong. It is what it is. And I feel like that side of the family, his side of the family never liked me anyway. So it's like, yeah. Casey says, do you have the type of relationship where you can ask your children's opinion? Yeah, we talk. And they're just like, I think my older son still holds out hope for this relationship with his father, but my younger son is just, he's over it. He's just like, he can care less at this point. Yep. Shelby says, do not put a man's name on shit. They will use that to their advantage. Yep. Miss Utopia says you can't grow old as a woman without having had at least one bad man in your life. Charge it to the game and keep it moving. And I mean, it's sad and it's kind of traumatic because even in the new relationship, I feel like I let the stuff that happened in the last relationship affect this one. So I'm suspicious of everything. I'm paranoid of everything. Like, I find myself like, if his phone rings and I hear like a female voice, I want to know who that is. What is this person to you? Who's this bitch? Whole time it's his mom. So I am crazy and I have to I feel like I need a little therapy where that is concerned. Like it's very, very hard for me to trust a man again. Really. I know I'm trying to learn to drive now. It's just it's scary for me. I think I need a small car. So the car I have, to me, it's big. It feels big when I sit behind the wheel. I feel like I need a small car, like a bug, like a Suzuki Swift, or like a Nissan Note. You know those small cars where you could maneuver in small spaces easier. I don't like bulky vehicles like SUVs and like, I don't know, like I feel like it's just too big for me to handle. I need to learn to drive in a nice small car. Miss Utopia says, I was that way, but it doesn't feel like anything. I'm 27 pounds down since August 11. Okay, wow. Congrats to you. Are you like exercising and like in the gym and stuff with it, or is it just that alone? Because I'm thinking if you're losing weight that fast, you don't want to get like flabby. You still have to like tone up. So is it that, I don't know. I think even if I'm taking this, I'm still trying to like get toned. I don't want to have like loose skin, stuff like that when you lose weight, because I was bigger before and I did lose weight and I felt like I got a little flabbier from that. Okay, Mac, who this is? You really want to go down this rabbit hole right now? I did. I don't believe in therapy. I feel like it's just somebody just taking your money to tell you what you want to hear. And it's just like, I don't believe in it, but I had to get therapy for my kids because of the situation and stuff that they witnessed. So I figured, you know what? I'm gonna get a couple sessions for myself. So actually, the therapist that I got for my son, he was like, um, he said, yes, traumatic stuff happened in your children's life, but mommy, you have to understand this was a traumatic thing for you too. And I'm like, okay, but I'm an adult. I could handle it, deal with the kids. And he was like, no, no, no. I think I need to sit and have a couple sessions with you. So he actually did the sessions with me for free. And I spoke with him. We unpacked a lot of stuff. And I just feel like it's nice having somebody to talk to who you feel like is not going to judge you, and you don't know this person in your everyday life, so it's not like you're telling them stuff and then you have to face them outside of that room and feel like they know all your business and stuff. So I felt comfortable talking about things that I would not have talked about with anybody else like that. And that's the value I see in it, having somebody to vent to. But to say that it brought any epiphany where I'm like, oh, I'm healed. No. I don't know. I just like, I don't believe in therapy like that. It's a lot of like, I do it for my kids because it was recommended, and I feel like therapy is what you make it. So for some people, they might feel like it's beneficial to them. They might feel like this is something useful, but for me, I I'm not a fan. Ooh, Miss Utopia preaching here. She says, men will treat you bad if you're too nice. The moment I started treating men like they were nobody special and replaceable, they start treating me like the best thing on earth. Yep. I can attest to this. You can give a man everything, and it's like they feel like, okay, well, she's doing all this. I have her. She here. She's mine. I roped her in already. I don't need to put in no more work anymore because yeah, she locked in, and they stop making an effort. But it's when you ignore them, and it's so crazy. You will ignore men, and you treat them like shit. They pursue you even more. I don't know if it's like it's an ego thing just to prove to themselves that they could get you. It's then they're treating you very, very nice. They're buying you flowers, they're taking you out, they're spending money on you, just to prove that they could get you eventually. But once they get you, all that stops. It's crazy. All that shit stops. Miss Utopia says I power walk 4 miles 4 days per week. Okay, that's good. I like to hike and stuff too. I'm not a gym person at all, but I could walk for hours and I like hiking. Bougie Barbie says therapy tips can be very helpful. I didn't believe in it at first either, but they can help you with coping strategies. I enjoy it. I don't know. I just feel like if I feel like I can't cope, like I just depressed and down, I pray. I talk to God. I just I'm like, I'm not sure there's a God. I don't know if I believe in a God. I just put what I'm feeling out into the atmosphere and hope that there's a God somewhere out there listening. And somehow it's just like things work out. I've been going through a lot since December, but things always work out. And it's like somehow God sends people in my life just when I need them. So, oversharing a little bit again, I was going through some stuff at work actually. I was actually in one department at work and I could not deal with what was happening, so I switched to a different department. And once I went to that new department, there's like this woman, she's a little older than me, she's a bit motherly, and she kind of took me under her wing, and it's like we became very, very close. And this woman has helped me through so much, even through this whole process with my ex. There was a situation that happened with my son because even after the situation with my ex, my kids were affected. They witnessed a lot of stuff and they were affected. So actually, this lady at work, she's the person who um, organized the therapy sessions and stuff. And it's just like, I don't want to get into a lot of it, but She's been like a support system for me just when I was going through all this stuff. So I just feel like if there's a God, God sends people in my life at times when I just feel so alone and things just work out. So I'm dealing with a lot. I'm really stressed. I feel like I'm overwhelmed. But at the end of the day, I'm like, you know what? It will work out because it always does. Y'all know my story. If y'all who have been on here since I joined YouTube, y'all remember when I lived in the ghetto, right? Where you used to hear the cock crowing in the background. And y'all used to hear gunshots on live. I will never forget that. So y'all know like that's where I was a few years ago. And now I have my own home, have my own car, have a well paying job, able to pay my bills, able to provide for my kids on my own. So it's like, I believe there's a God because I feel like everything I have prayed and said, you know what? God, work this out, please. It works out. So that's how I think prayer, I value prayer more than therapy. It works for me. K Max says, that's what I told my doctor. My therapist is God. Yep. We talk to him or our pastors, not a complete stranger. I've been in therapy for 10 years now. After a few years, I only started going when I feel I need. And therapy is expensive. It's expensive as fuck. So I'm like, you know what? God is free. And I just feel like everything in my life, every time I'm going through something and I go to God and I say, God, get me through this, it works out. He has not failed me yet. Sometimes it doesn't work out in the way that I want it to, but it works out. Miss Utopia says, listen, you don't need therapy when something bad happens. Just ask yourself this: is this the worst thing I've ever been through? If the answer is no, then you know you're going to get over it. Yeah, I mean, 2025, this past year, I think this has been the worst thing I've ever been through. I've never been a single mom before. Even though I was like the breadwinner and the main provider, I didn't have to do everything alone. Like I said, he was the one going to the school events and the parents' days and stuff, and driving the kids to school and picking them up. And now everything I just have to figure out on my own. So it's like, it's been tough, but it's been getting done. So K Max says you can do both therapy and prayer. There are Christian therapists out there. They help you look at things differently and give you ways to cope. You just have to be open to it. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of therapy. But actually, my son, it's helpful to him. He enjoys it. He enjoys having somebody to talk to. So I see. I think everybody it you view it a different way. Everybody experiences therapy a different way, and I'm not saying it's not useful. I'm just saying I don't think it's useful for me, but I think it is useful to my son. Miss Utopia says, girl, you are a woman. That's what we do. Figure shit out on our own. Yeah, you're a powerful woman and you can do anything. And I agree, but it's just like, God, I need a fucking break sometimes. Like, why do I have to figure out everything all the time? Like, just like, like sometimes you just wish you had, like, you could just rest and let somebody else take the wheel for a change. Yo, my days are like crazy. And sometimes I just want a break. Sometimes I just want to rest. But you have to keep going because you have people depending on you. It is what it is. Anyway, y'all, I've been on here for 2 hours and 14 minutes, and I do have work tomorrow. So, you know what? I will keep monitoring this Nicki Cardi B situation, and if anything else pops off, which I'm pretty sure it will, as a matter of fact, before I go, let me go to Twitter and just refresh my page and see if anything happened while I was on here. Let's see. Let's see. What's new? Uh, Let me see. Ugh. I just went to Nicki Minaj's page. Her last tweet was 4 hours ago. So it seems like she's done for tonight. Cardi B is back to promoting her album as she should. So it seems like the drama has died down for tonight, but I'm sure it will be back up again. I'm sure there will be something popping off in the next few days. So if anything else happens, I'm gonna come live and we'll talk about it. So y'all, I'm out of here. I shall see you guys at a later date. Toodles.